Brazilian midfielder Casemiro experienced a moment of surprise during Manchester United's victory over Newcastle on Friday 26 at Old Trafford in a match valid for the 18th round of the Premier League. The experienced player showed clear confusion when he was substituted by head coach Ruben Amorim early in the second half, despite United holding a narrow lead on the scoreboard. The substitution took place in the 15th minute of the second half, with Manchester United leading 1. Amorim decided to take Casemiro off and bring on defender Liniero, a change that altered the team's structure on the pitch. The decision surprised not only part of the crowd, but also the Brazilian himself, who did not immediately understand the coach's choice. When he realized his number had been shown for the substitution, Casemiro questioned the decision and reportedly asked twice whether it was indeed him who was being taken off. His reaction caught the attention of those watching the match, but it did not escalate into any form of public confrontation or disagreement. Despite the visible surprise, the midfielder maintained a professional attitude. Casemiro greeted Ruben Amorim normally as he left the field and headed to the bench without making stronger gestures or overt protests. The episode was limited to the initial questioning, with no signs of argument or inappropriate behavior. Following the change, Manchester United adopted a more defensive approach. The introduction of a center-back in place of a midfielder reduced the team's presence in the middle of the pitch and allowed Newcastle to push forward in search of an equalizer. The visitors increased their attacking pressure and created several chances until the final whistle. Even under sustained pressure in the closing minutes, United managed to remain defensively organized and hold on to the result, securing all 3 points in front of their home supporters. The defensive line was tested repeatedly, but resisted Newcastle's advances, ensuring the victory in a match marked by tension and tactical adjustments. Amorim's decision, however, sparked debate. Casemiro's substitution, especially with the scoreline still tight, raised questions about the strategy adopted and the impact of his exit on the team's balance. The pressure faced after the change reinforced the perception that United lost some control in midfield, even though the final objective was achieved. This was not an isolated episode in Casemiro's recent relationship with the Portuguese coach. About 10 days earlier, the Brazilian had already shown signs of dissatisfaction when he was substituted during the match against Bournemouth, making way for young midfielder Casemiro. On that occasion, Casemiro's reaction also suggested discomfort with the decision, though once again without leading to any direct conflict. Since Ruben Amorim's arrival, Manchester United have been going through a period of tactical adjustment and redefinition of roles within the squad. Casemiro, one of the most experienced players in the group, has been used in different contexts, sometimes as a key figure for defensive balance, at other times being replaced as the coach looks for alternative solutions. The repetition of situations in which the midfielder appears surprised at being taken off suggests an ongoing adaptation process, both for the player under the new coaching staff and for the coach as he continues to assess the squad at his disposal. Even so, there are no signs of a rupture or declared crisis between the parties, only moments of specific discomfort related to certain decisions. Casemiro remains a significant figure within the Manchester United squad, not only because of his extensive career at the highest level, but also due to the leadership he brings on the pitch. As a result, even restrained reactions tend to attract attention, given his stature in European football and his importance to the team. From the club's perspective, the win over Newcastle represented an important result in the course of the season, regardless of the discussion surrounding the substitution. The collective performance and the ability to protect the lead until the end were valued, even though the team faced difficulties after the tactical change. For Ruben Amorim, the decision underlined the profile of a coach who does not hesitate to make strategic changes, even when they involve high-profile players. Casemiro's substitution showed that the manager prioritizes his reading of the game and the execution of his tactical plan, even if it leads to momentary questioning. The incident at Old Trafford adds to other transitional moments experienced by Manchester United this season. The team continues to search for greater stability, while experienced players and young talents compete for space and adapt to the demands of the new coaching approach. Despite the visible discomfort, Casemiro maintained a professional stance and remained on the bench for the rest of the match without further incident. There were no public statements from the midfielder after the game regarding the substitution, nor did the club release any specific comment on the matter. As such, the episode stands as another chapter in a natural adjustment process at a major club, where technical decisions, individual reactions, and on-field results coexist under constant scrutiny. The victory was secured, the 3 points stayed in Manchester, and the debate over Casemiro's substitution became part of the post-match analysis, with no immediate signs of further consequence.